So I get asked all the time by family members, how can they help their disabled family members make better decisions? I wanted to share a video of a presentation that I gave on this topic with you. And as an added bonus, there's a Q&A time at the very end where parents ask me questions. So here's the training. I do want to talk about decision making just briefly, because a lot of your kids probably don't qualify for a limited conservatorship. So how do you help them to make better decisions? And when you learn that, let me know. I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. And by the way, my 11-year-old has high functioning autism. So I'm also a mom of a child with special needs. But we want to help our kids to make good decisions. So here are the different ways that you can make decisions. You can make decisions for them, which is a conservatorship. But as you know, that's only available, or you may know, that's only available for folks who have developmental disabilities and are members of the regional center. So if you have a child with comorbidities, they have autism and mental health challenges, then they could become a member of the regional center because of the autism diagnosis. But if they only have mental health challenges, they're not going to qualify for the regional center and they won't qualify for a limited conservatorship. So now you're looking at other options. They can sign a durable power of attorney or advanced healthcare directive. That's called delegated decision making. They're allowing you to make decisions on their behalf. They can share decision making with you. And then there's something called supported decision making. And that's really what I want to focus on. But let me just mention the delegated or shared decision making. Everybody who's age 18 and up should have a durable power of attorney. Everybody on this call, me, anyone, if you turn 18, you need a durable power of attorney and an advanced healthcare directive, anyone who's not conserved. Then also, if you have a child who has behavioral issues, you can alert the police with a form AB 1424 to really let them know, hey, this is what to watch out for my child, really to protect them from violence from the police, okay? And then also, if they're receiving Social Security benefits, you can be their rep payee. You can manage the $1,200 a month or whatever they're receiving per month. Now, one of the drawbacks is that this is voluntary, so your child can decide, I don't want my parent to help me make this decision anymore, or to make the decision, and they can do away with the durable power of attorney. And also, if you're making decisions on their behalf, that doesn't actually train them to make good decisions. So one thing that's developed recently that I think is very important is something called supported decision making. And this is basically where you put a group of adults that your child trusts around them, and those adults sign a contract saying, hey, these are the areas that the child wants me to support them in. So I have an example that I love to share. So when I went through law school, my dad was a lawyer for many years, and he was the dean of a law school and law professor. And so I asked him a lot of questions about law school, okay? However, I didn't ask him about dating. I asked my other friends about, getting help in my dating life. So I had different friends who helped advise me about different things, but ultimately I made my own decision. That is what supported decision-making is. You're helping to empower your child to make better decisions by putting adults in their lives who they trust. So it's viewed as a less restricted alternative to conservatorships. And fortunately or not, even children who have a developmental disability, I found in Santa Clara County, the judge, or maybe it's the court investigator, but their team is pushing back against allowing conservatorships because they're saying, well, have you tried supported decision-making before you're just taking away the child's rights? So that's made it more difficult to get conservatorships. So really, we're trending more towards supported decision-making. If you've watched this much of the presentation, then you probably have a family member who has special needs, and you may have questions about special needs planning when you're gone. I encourage you to book a time with our team to discuss this. We're here to help. So I have an example here of what one of these agreements looks like. California has not created their own supported decision-making agreement, but this one's from the ACLU, and I think it's very good, okay? And it's really straightforward. So my name that's the child. They fill in their own name, and they say, I want to have people I trust to help me make decisions, and they're called supporters. Okay, so the supporters are not making the choices for the child. And I recognize, especially when your child is going through a manic episode or depression or something, they may not make the best decisions, all right? There are healthcare directives that are meant for individuals with mental health challenges, where they can say, hey, if I'm in a locked facility, these are the decisions I want to be made. But this is really helping your child to make better decisions themselves. So they are the decider. They're the ones who make the decisions themselves, and they fill out their information. And then they say, this is one of the supporters. This is one of the people, one of the adults that I want to help support me in making my own decisions. And here are some of the areas that I'd like help with, making safe choices around where I live, choices about my friends. I mean, I wish that kids were more open to, who they are influenced by with their friends, making healthcare choices, choosing about dating, sex, and birth control and marriage, right? Help with money decisions, right? These are all areas that we can all use help with at certain times. Now, supported decision-making has grown a lot in the last 20 or so years, but especially in the last 15. And so you'll see in California, we just passed a statute in 2022. It's very, very recent, and we're still kind of figuring out how does this all work. It actually started, the first state to pass a supported decision-making statute was Texas. All right, so so there's different states that have implemented supported decision-making, some who have not, and then some who have implemented it just for organ donation, which I find really suspicious, but who am I to say? All right, so I want to pause there and answer any questions about supported decision-making, or I know I didn't dive into limited conservatorships at all because I just don't think it really applies to this group, but I do, again, I have a video on it. So Sophia, any questions that have come up?
Yes, there's 2 questions in the chat. The first one is, how do I find out if my child's disability is quote unquote qualified?
So you would apply with Social Security Administration, and they'll ask for all the documentation. You can get, there are some people who help with that, some consultants. Really, you want to, this is going to sound horrible, but you want to make your child look as bad as possible. As I think as parents, we want to present our children in a good light, but you have to have documentation of, did they have an IEP? What did it say? Were they ever able to work? Could they only work for a week and then they were fired, or they just couldn't make it? So you have to have all of this evidence that really, because when you're looking at being disabled, the question is not, do they have OCD? Do they have, bipolar? The question is, do they have some sort of disability that makes it unable for them to work and support themselves? What's the effect of their disability on their ability to support themselves? Okay, so you go through the Social Security Administration. Again, they'll probably deny it, right? Only 40%, statistics say 40% of applications for SSI and SSDI are approved, but 50% of the appeals are approved. So just keep trying.
Thank you. The next question is, where can we get a copy of the ACLU supported decision-making contract?
Oh, you can look it up online. That's where I found it. So yeah, just Google it. I think it's terrific. There's a few other ones out there as well. And, I think Texas has their own, but I hope California comes out with one soon. But, it's not, it's a binding contract in that, people are agreeing to this, but there shouldn't be any liability behind it. If you're an adult who agrees to support a child with disabilities, if that child ends up making a poor decision, it shouldn't be coming back to you. You're just helping them out. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind.
In supported decision-making, do supporters work with the child as a group or individually on different things?
It could be whatever's most helpful for the child. It's really, there's quite a variety. If the child's open to a group setting, that could be great. It could be one-on-one. Also, if your child is conserved, you can still do supported decision-making within the conservatorship label. So whatever works for your child, I think that's what they're trying to accomplish. We want to find ways besides just taking away our children's rights and they can't sign contracts anymore, which can be pretty demoralizing to a child. Instead, we want to embolden them and help them to feel more confident in making their decisions.
The last question is, we do have a participant who falls under limited conservatorship. So, and I'm curious too, where can we find your videos about those topics?
Oh, there you go. Well, just here, let me move on. Good segue. Okay, so this is a little bit about us. So we're located in Palo Alto, but we do a lot of our calls over Zoom. So we help people all over California, including Santa Cruz, which, by the way, I would love to move to Santa Cruz someday. So that's kind of my long-term retirement goal. And this is where you find us, YouTube. All right, we're on YouTube. Just look up Ellen Cookman Law, and you'll find a lot of videos come up. Please like and subscribe, But if you type in Ellen Cookman Law limited conservatorship, type in the subject, then it should come up. We're also on social media. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn. So if you like those platforms, we do post just about every day. And some of our posts, I think, are, some of them are fun, but some of them are quite relevant to these topics. Okay, and then finally, this is how you can sign up for our newsletter. We do send out a monthly newsletter on, I think, very important topics that relate to estate planning and special needs planning. If you do the phone thing, you just use your phone and scan that QR code on the photo app. Be sure to reach out to our team to book a call to discuss how to best help your loved one with special needs.
Hello everyone. If you liked my mom's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all next time.